I've never seen it.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
Room tone.
Get a little room. I have like a producer who's in here, but he's not here now. And there's an AI bot that if I record on all 3 cameras, will 3-camera edit for me.
Really?
Yeah. I tell it like, this is Matt, this is Bailey, this is Kyle, like pick your face out. And then I tell it, this is Matt's mic, this is Bailey's mic, this is Kyle's mic, and it'll cut to whoever's talking. And you can make it like delay the cut to feel natural. You know what I mean? And
wow,
it's wild.
And we're shitting on AI. Here we are shitting on AI.
AI is doing all our work. It's great.
It's doing all the things.
That's the stuff it should do.
Yeah.
It should be taking other artists' jobs.
Yes.
Exactly. Editors.
Yes, thank you.
It should be speeding up stuff for people.
Yeah.
It should be taking other jobs. Feel free to grab any of these musical instruments you want. I'll do like this will be out in I think almost 3.5 weeks.
It's gonna. So we should act as if my special's out, right?
It's the day it comes out, right?
It's going to come out the 13th, and you said this will be
the 13th.
Okay, great.
What a day today is, the third. Like we did this live and put it right up.
Yeah, wow. Oh my God. I'm just scrambling from thing to thing.
I wish we kept that like ruse up. We
Yeah.
tried to trick everyone into thinking these are always live.
Yeah. We're going to go to Bailey with the traffic.
It's bad.
Yeah. All right, we're back.
To you.
That's what those helicopters are that are always making so much noise. So this is going to be our Valentine's Day episode.
Oh, great. Well, that's perfect.
Oh,
for
wow,
the
happy Valentine's
with
Day.
everything.
Thank
together.
you. To you guys as well.
Thank
you.
you.
I put together over your other shoulder there a little Love Zodiactually, which is the ultimate Valentine's Day
great.
movie.
Yeah.
It didn't fit, though, on the board.
No, he had to.
I think it fits great.
Yeah.
I love what you did with it.
I saw there was some serial killer something got arrested in Missouri pretty recently.
Oh.
Not cool enough to like know their name or anything, but like killed a few. And they were like, it was somewhere just writing, because I saw this because I'm from there. So it was like my friends posting about, oh my God. And someone was like, my son lived right across the street from this guy. We had no idea. He would be outside yelling obscenities about death at his own house sometimes, though. And like, it
But
sounds
that's
like you
just
had
Brian.
an idea.
Yeah.
They were just like, we just had a neighbor who would run outside and yell about going to hell and killing people at his house. But we just didn't think anything of it.
That
Nicest guy.
That was just struck us as Missourian behavior.
That's the Midwest
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
The mommy dead and dearest, like the Gypsy Rose Blanchard, happened in my hometown, and it happened the week that I moved to LA. And so it was like all of this stuff coming out on Facebook about it, and now it's like one of the craziest true crime things to ever happen.
Yeah.
And everyone from Springfield, Missouri is like, I knew that. They're very like, it's actually about me.
I like making that stuff about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to center
You
my
have to.
story. Like I actually used to own Zodiac on HD DVD.
Holy shit.
Remember those that weren't quite Blu-rays? They were the red boxed Blu-rays,
Yeah.
but they came anyways. So that's kind of about me. That movie,
Yeah.
1,000%.
I mean, you
a little bit.
yeah, I mean, you were the only person that owned the HD DVD, so
I probably was.
I do feel like you can get credit. The fact that you moved right when the crime happened, it makes you it's either a little bit suspicious or maybe you knew about something in advance.
It's like
you were
the
like,
alibi.
shit's gonna go down. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I killed that girl's mom, so
Yeah.
it was really a crazy week for me.
And you know, we had to hire movers.
I know. Moving is the worst.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
We are recording, by the way, because this is gold.
Yeah, you know,
this is
this is going to be the only part that actually comes
Good.
out.
All right, good.
Bleep out some of what I said.
Okay,
The-
the part about how you killed someone's mom. Yeah.
I used to have you ever like I had a failed joke off of a real idea about my mom when I like moved to New York, telling me I was going to get killed, or like moved to LA, I was going to get like killed in like a gang murder. You know what I mean? She's like very
Yeah.
worried.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, in a place like LA, you only get killed if you deserve it. Like in Missouri, someone will kill you because your skin fits.
Do people love that?
No one ever laughed at it ever.
Skin fits is, I see, that's funny to me, but yeah, that's a tough sell.
But
yeah.
it is exact. Like I remember distinctly when the BTK killer, bind, torture, kill, got caught. It stopped my school day.
Well, because that was...
It was like a big deal around
Yeah.
Kansas City, and
Kansas.
he
Yeah.
just had disappeared for a long time.
Yeah.
And then made himself get caught by believing the police when they told him they wouldn't try and find him, which is just an all-time idiot move.
I get BTK and BTS mixed up.
Sure,
sometimes.
sure.
That's because they both have rabid fan bases.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight? The fan bases of BTS, which I think stands for Behind the Swifties, and BTK.
Honestly, I don't know.
We're going to shoot some BTK footage of the podcast later.
Subscribe to our Patreon. We'll let you guys in on the BTK.
What is the number you have to kill to be a serial killer? Is there an exact number?
There probably is.
What's the rule there?
Oh yeah, is it the same as like a party? It's like 2 is
Right.
a couple, 3 is a few.
A serial killer is typically a person who murders 3 or more. That feels
Okay.
low.
But they have to. Do they have to be separate incidents? Like, because if you just walk into
Taking
a house,
place over a month
Right,
and
okay.
a significant period of time
Okay.
between them.
Wow.
Feels low.
So you don't earn serial killer if you just
Feels low.
shoot up a building.
Right.
Or however
Right.
you do it. I don't
And
know.
how would
3.
you do that if you were going to?
I mean, first you got to have a plan to leave town. That's yeah.
I think that at this point, you're not a serial killer unless 4 podcasts have sold mattresses off your victims' like backs. Then at that point, you're immortalized.
Casper // Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Love Actually part was the part of the sign I meant to, because we're talking about romantic comedies
Right.
and stuff like
yes.
that.
Right.
But instead, we just talked about Zodiac, which has its romantic moments that all of them generally end abruptly. Like couple hangs out by nice lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like that. Did they ever catch that guy?
Yeah.
I feel like there was like a couple years ago something with like a 23andMe confirms that this lady's dad was the Zodiac or something like that.
Oh.
It just used to be pretty easy to get away with crime.
I heard Ted Cruz, right? Wasn't there a rumor
That
that
was a
Yeah.
rumor,
Ted
even
Cruz
though it
was
like
his,
doesn't line up and he would have been like 4.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
It's just so fun.
yeah.
It's kind of fun to like a guy like that ruin his life with a clear lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since he's done it to so many people on his own.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was just so easy to get away with crime for so long.
Yeah.
Like,
Seems like it.
we watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy is just robbing banks, no mask.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie?
Not, and I have seen it, but not in a long
I
time.
mean, it's not. Most of it's probably not real. But it's like until
No,
like
don't say that.
1910, you could rob a bank if you were confident.
Yeah. You could scream your name and you still wouldn't get
I'm
caught.
robbing the bank.
Yeah.
you needed bluegrass.
Yeah.
You
That
did.
was the
You needed sepia toned
Yeah.
real life. And then you could just, I don't know. I could probably get away with most crimes until 1930.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw God, not to bring it down, but I mean, like, well, I guess Killers of the Flower Moon, they did catch them eventually, and just nothing
yeah.
happened, right? But I was
Yeah.
I was thinking of that with all the bank robberies and just
Yeah.
just murders out in the open, just like
They
push
kind of
somebody-
also just sort of
push
had
somebody
him
under a
caught and
bush
didn't
and-
care.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
sort
They're
of
like, we pretty sure we know who it is, but
that was a different vibe.
we
yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder. It's easier to get away with the crimes when the cops like that you did it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess the great thing about Killers of the Flower Moon in real life is that they invented the FBI, which seems to actually sometimes care about crime.
They hate
more than
cops, too, it seems
yeah,
like.
Right.
Yeah.
Like as far as like lists of people who hate cops,
Yeah.
the fire department seems like number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the fire department and then it's the FBI.
Where they're just like always in
that
the
order.
way.
Yeah.
If you like talk to a firefighter, they're just like, I showed up to put out the fire, and there was like a cop texting in front of the fire hydrant. It's like candy crushing. Didn't LAPD cops got in trouble because they didn't respond to calls because they were playing Pokemon Go.
I love that so much. I
That's
think
true. Those are the
so
most
funny.
relatable cops.
They really are.
That would be addictive.
You like really need a Snorlax.
Yeah.
Well, we should talk about this movie though. We should talk about this movie. We'll have an intro and everything set up on my own separately, so we don't have to get awkwardly into it.
So you
Although
can
this
shi-
is part of
you
it
can
too.
shit on me when I'm not.
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just only, I'll mute a couple of the mics. It'll just be like one of those cool solo podcasts that comedians do now.
Yes.
Where those seem like insane to listen to.
Yeah, it's like morning radio, like but with where you do all the characters.
I would love one guy. It's Bill Burr has a spring sound
Yeah.
effect that he triggers. It's like, you guys see this? Wah, wah, wah. I don't know what a spring sounds like. Okay, Matt Goldich is here.
Hi, hello.
Has never seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
As far as I know,
This is our transition into the. Once again, Love Actually is how I was trying to get into the romantic comedies.
Oh, yeah.
It's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's
so
Day.
Happy Valentine's
Either
Day
today
to
or
everyone.
tomorrow.
Yes.
And is there anything you want to preface before we get into your script here that you know about this or that you know about romantic comedy? I don't even want to box in your preface.
I have to say that I pitched you a few different. We talked about romantic comedies and it being Valentine's Day, and I pitched you a few different romantic comedies that I had not seen. But some of these movies from this era, and I don't want to ruin anything in the script, but because we grew up at a time when movies just played on TV and sometimes you would flip channels and you would hop into them, it's entirely possible I've seen scenes from this movie and just don't have any memory of it.
Almost worse.
But I can honestly say I've never sat down and watched the whole thing. And I certainly have a prejudice against certain types of movies of this genre, which we can get into later after we read the script, which I think is probably unfair, or maybe I was right all along. I don't know. But, it's unclear, but we're gonna sort of find out, I think, along the way.
Okay, well, we'll do the script and then we'll reflect.
Yeah.
You can cast it however you'd like.
Well, why don't I do
Empty page.
Let's
Did
see.
your guys
So,
have an empty page in the middle of it or just mine?
I don't know.
Mine doesn't.
So how many guy parts? So you'll be. Why don't you'll obviously be Kate, and then you'll be obviously, and then I think you'll be the I'll be the main love interest, Owen.
Okay.
And then we have how many other parts? I'll be Heath also, and then why don't you be the boss and the best friend? Does that make? Or no, I'm sorry. Maybe you know what? I'll be Owen. You be Heath and the boss.
Okay.
And you be Kate and the best friend.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
I think that's all
Great.
the parts. Okay.
Heath boss.
Yeah.
2 great candy bars.
One low price. All right. So, wait, I didn't give myself many parts. I just realized I don't.
You had the stage directions.
Okay.
as
Oh,
well.
I'm the stage directions as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's anything happening,
stage directions and Owen. That's
like
me.
if it's going and you want to retake a line or something like
good.
that, you
All
can
right.
live direct.
Okay. Are we ready? Are we doing this? I'm not a
Yeah.
professional screenwriter. I should say I've never had anything produced. I've never sold anything.
We've had people
So-
submit scripts that opened with
Okay.
exterior horse. So I almost want to frame that one and have it up in the
I wanna
studio
start-
so people like know what baseline
I
we're
want
starting with.
to. Why not interior horse? Why don't we see
That's
what
the
they-
Revenant,
yeah, okay.
I believe.
And the Magic
Interior
School
bear.
Bus.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interior. Fashion magazine offices or artisanal bakery. Kate Hudson, 30, single, cute, but she doesn't know it, but knows how cute she is while not knowing it. Is hard at work doing God knows what when her high-powered boss enters.
Kate, do you have that report for me?
I don't know. Do you have a man for me?
Of course I do, Kate. The year is 2003 and you, a single woman, can have it all.
As long as I'm not a fat slut.
Jesus, Kate. I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Of course I can. It's 2003 and people are surprisingly okay with it as a punchline.
Oh, okay, good. Because I know the guy writing this would never use that language unless it was a meta comment on the changing standards of our culture.
Of course not. But back to my never-ending quest for a husband.
Listen, here are my tips for meeting a man. Never let him see you sweat, never offer to pay, and never put out on the first date.
How would you feel if I took that list of dating tips, added several more to get a nice round number, and then Frankensteined it into a loosely plotted story that somehow becomes a movie?
Okay, but what if instead of being about how to get a guy, the tips are about how to lose a guy?
That's perfect. That way, when people start to Google how to lose 10 pounds, the title will automatically come up and they'll be forced to watch it.
Owen Wilson or Matthew McConaughey enters. Hello, it is me, Dupree. All right. Internal monologue. Kate.
Damn, he is sexy. Like Owen Wilson at a career high point or Matthew McConaughey at a career low point.
Owen or Matthew internal monologue. Damn, she is sexy. Like Goldie Hawn or maybe Meryl Streep's daughter?
Humana, humana, humana.
Awooga.
Damn, I'd love to see you without your shirt off.
Oh, that's a typo. I would love to see you in a ball gown, which accidentally gets ripped off at some point, revealing you in your underwear in an inopportune moment. Either that or maybe you fall into a pool for comedic effect.
I would like to kiss in the rain.
I would like to date you, even though we probably come from different social strata, which will certainly be challenging.
But I bet everything will work out in the end because we are both white.
You're either a career woman trying to climb the corporate ladder or a plucky small business owner out on your own. In the movies, everything always works out for you.
I would like to date you too.
Horny older woman or gay best friend enters.
This just before people need to know in the script it says how or give as the character name.
Wait, is that me?
Who do we have?
You said you were best friend. Is
Oh,
this
you're
that
best
best
friend?
friend?
I'll be the best friend. Okay. I would like to date him too.
Dorothy, stop. You're bad.
Not as bad as your makeup. Yuck.
That's just straight up mean.
Why don't you go complain to the guests on the daytime talk show you're probably going to host in 2024?
That honestly does check out, and I'll be surprised if it doesn't come to fruition.
Hey, I'm still here, and I'm sexy as hell.
A little too sexy, if you ask me.
Yeah, I miss when guys were funny and ugly like Billy Crystal.
Now that's a movie Matt Goldich would watch.
Yes. But was it because of the involvement of Billy Crystal, which clearly signified that the comedy element of romantic comedy would be emphasized, or was it because it came out during his youth, at a time when he was more open to new ideas and new adventures, as opposed to his 20s, when his ideas were more hardened and he felt a stronger need to meet the expectations of what society expected from a man?
I don't know. Maybe he just watched whatever was on TBS. Why else would he have seen Kate and Leopold like a dozen times?
Oh, you're still here?
The late Heath Ledger enters, accompanied by a high school marching band.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
No. That's the wrong movie.
Yeah, you're thinking of 10 Things I Hate About You.
Crikey, my bad.
It's okay. It's easy to make that mistake since they both have the number 10 in the title.
Plus, Matt's never seen that movie either. He's only seen that one scene.
It's a pretty great scene, though, you got to admit.
Yes. Everyone is agreed about your genius. Now get out of here so I can get back to my epic quest to escaping singlehood.
Heath Ledger exits, never to be seen or heard from again, or so we think.
Hey, wait a minute. Where's that other guy?
Seriously, where'd your guy go?
You lost him?
Dude, where's my guy?
That was way shorter than 10 days.
Well, we're trying to wrap this thing up in about 6 pages, so...
How could I lose Matthew McConaughey and or Owen Wilson? At first, we were sworn enemies, or maybe we were platonic best friends. But either way, the idea of becoming a couple was repellent to me. However, it was obvious to everyone else in the movie and the audience that we would eventually end up together. Everyone but me. But I fell in love with him, and now he's gone.
Look on the bright side. Maybe he was just using you to try to get a green card.
Yeah, or to trick his boss into thinking he was capable of being in a stable relationship. Or I can't do it. I lost the Australian. I
think you got it.
Or
lost?
maybe you meet again in 20 years and realize you were always soulmates.
Heath Ledger, how did you get back in here?
I've always been here, inside of you.
He paused at her breast awkwardly.
Maybe I did find a guy after all. It's almost too good to be true.
See, knowing that one scene did come in handy.
They kiss. Everyone applauds. I have to say, I did a nice job of seating the big finish to you two. I sort of withdrew from the spotlight and I let you two have your moment, which I'm proud of.
I will say, like, this is the most dialogue a woman has ever gotten in one of these scripts.
Yeah, that was probably honestly about how much there was for a woman in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's like 100
Yeah.
pages.
Maybe that's why I never watched these movies.
You
No,
were
I'm
too
just-
much of a feminist.
You're too much of an ally.
yeah. No, I mean, that was, these were, it's interesting because obviously, like, these were movies that were I think, largely for women. They starred women. They had big roles for women, right?
Yeah.
There were certainly like, it was like the woman was usually the star on the poster. So,
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, you have that, but then they didn't necessarily, they didn't always portray them in the best light, or the idea of it was a lot of, you know, I don't know. Probably some of them were written by men, you know, claiming to
would
I don't
say
know. In
good.
Hollywood, I have a hard time.
A lot of them
Good
were.
chunk of
But
them,
yeah, but I mean, it was, I don't know. This feels like it was a whole, I mean, it was a time when there were a lot of these, right?
There were a lot
Yeah.
of these. This one I have seen. How to Lose a
you
Guy in
have.
10 Days.
I think I've seen parts of it. I don't think I've seen the whole
You've
thing.
only seen like 6 or 7 of the days.
I've only seen 6 or 7 of the days. Yeah.
It was wild because there were a lot of romantic comedies coming out that all looked the same, like
Yes.
visually all looked the same. And you didn't know, and I'm not an expert on romantic comedies at all, but you didn't know if you were going to get subversive, straightforward, like backwards thinking, or like new, or a great rehash of a working thing that like sort of like
Right.
formula. So
The poster is always the same.
the poster is always the
It's
same.
always the guy standing and the woman has one foot up in the air. Like
Yeah,
the
like maybe
heel.
she's walking
Yeah.
away, dragging him by his
Yes,
tie,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
or
yeah.
that.
something like that, or she's like being dragged to work in one direction.
The proposal poster is like that too, I think.
It is the
yes.
exact. Yeah, I think it's the exact like layout.
I also
The
think that
proposal's
Kate
good.
Hudson and Matthew McConaughey had a run of films together because they had really good chemistry,
I
and
guess.
this was one of those. I mean, I think they had a few that they were all
I mean,
doing.
he was like really popular in movie. Like he was in Failure to Launch with Sarah Jessica Parker, and I think it's also a similar like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were at least in one other one together, and then there was one other that I looked up that I thought was him, and it was Owen Wilson. I did some.
I mean,
some
if you look,
research.
Failure to Launch and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days are the same poster.
Yeah,
like you could
yeah.
tell Matthew McConaughey is in a suit leaning against the woman in both of them.
Yeah.
Then he's also in Fool's Gold with Kate Hudson, which I think came out around the same sort of time.
But if my memory serves me correct, this was almost like a career. Like Matthew McConaughey was kind of slumming it during this time, right? Like he sort of came out. They thought he was going to be a big serious actor, and then things didn't really go. And then he just did this run of like 10 of the same movie in a row, and
Yeah.
then he sort of
And
had
then
a
he did
resurgence
True
as a-
Detective.
True Detective, and then the
changed
other
it
one where
all.
they won the Oscar for the
Dallas Buyers
Dallas
Club.
Buyers Club.
Yeah.
We all know Lincoln Lawyer was the turning point.
that was it. Yeah.
I love Lincoln
and,
Lawyer.
and the Cadillac commercial.
We all know Tropic Thunder was the turning point because once you play an agent, you're
Yeah.
accepted in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Manager, I don't think it matters. There's no difference in the world to anyone outside of the 6 square miles we're in. And then, I mean, yeah, he looked like he had just a big run of these. It's funny, you look up Matthew McConaughey rom-coms, and Between Two Ferns, the movie, is on the list.
Oh, really?
So maybe we don't
Yeah.
keep track of these in a
No.
proper way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think there was a problem with a lot of these where you hire two really good-looking people, but they're not necessarily funny, and you have to have at least one person with
Right.
some comedic.
Yeah.
This is where
Timing.
there's no
Some
way to
ways.
differentiate until you get into it. Like if you weren't familiar with these actors, you just look at 80 of the same poster and don't realize how different these can end up being,
Yeah,
quality wise.
no, and I think there are certain actors or actresses to me that are a signifier of like, oh, this is going to be funny, and then there are certain where it's like I see two and I'm like, this doesn't even qualify as a rom-com. It's just a romance.
I'm looking at this thing called the
Yeah.
7 romantic comedy movie poster cliches,
Yes.
and one of them they're calling the first type of movie poster is the Pretty Woman poster. And I can sort of tilt this here. I can't get
Yes.
too far, but you see the Pretty Woman
The
poster,
lean.
and this is the back-to-back with one leaning, where then they provide 12 other examples of
Oh
that
my
poster.
God.
Wow.
And then they get into the next type of poster, which is the Bridget Jones Diary poster,
Uh-huh.
which is the girl in the middle of two guys.
love
And then you start to
triangle.
get into the love triangle poster.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant, to me, if you see Hugh Grant, you're like, oh, it's a comedy. You're like,
Yeah.
this is gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
funny.
Turn
It's
the
not just gonna
subtitles
be-
on.
Yeah.
This
It's
is going to be good.
not just gonna be it's not just gonna be like a cheesy romance. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You can really tell. And then there's like On Bench is another one. That was another one of their movie, like where one of them sitting on a bench, and whether it's in front of the Eiffel Tower or the
Right.
New York Sky. Like you watch that Hugh Grant hilarious show, The Undoing, on HBO.
Oh yeah.
No, I think it's like the literal least funny
Oh
show
my
that's
God.
ever.
Oh,
it's
really?
a
Yeah.
massive
With Nicole
murder
Kidman,
drama
yeah.
with
Oh,
Nicole
okay.
Kidman.
Okay.
I remember watching that show and thinking like, that is a tight apartment.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It makes you want to murder.
The thing you can't stop doing when you watch myself now when I watch anything, I'm like, it's a nice house.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
I don't know if that's getting older or what.
You know that meme? It's like a South Park meme, and it's just like this slobby guy who's like being disgusting on the computer. And he's like, you know what I'm talking about?
The World of Warcraft player who's like leaning back.
Yeah,
sure.
and he's just like this schlubby, gross character. And anytime I see that, I'm like, he has actually a really nice apartment. Like the view is
I think it's
stunning.
a whole house.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. Anyway, I can't enjoy anything now.
I do remember How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days in particular, seeing this.
Yes.
I don't think it was in theaters. I don't remember when or where I watched it. But thinking, they're both pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if it would hold up at all.
Sure.
But I was just like, tonally, there's a lot of these, and this is the one of them ones that I liked.
Oh, interesting.
And it was, I mean, you kind of nailed exactly. It wasn't as SEO based as maybe yours was.
I
driven.
really went meta with
But,
this.
it's sort of.
It just shows you, like, I don't have the ability to, like, write a story. I only have the ability to write a sketch, and so I basically did the sketch that made fun of these movies.
If you wrote a story on here, I think people might, like, get mad at me.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. It's not.
If I remember correctly, she is sort of like the dating expert who goes on dates with guys just for. I don't think they called it content then, but to like come up with articles and things for whether it's Vogue or whatever. It's probably more tabloidy magazine that she writes for, and she's known for that. And so she goes out with this guy deliberately to figure out how to get rid of him, and she falls for him. So she's trying to get rid of him while falling in love for him, and he's resisting it. I don't remember what his job was.
I think he's also writing an article about how to get a girl in 10 days. Isn't that the
something like that maybe?
thing?
Or he's like, I can't remember. I confuse him in this and then the Trainwreck movie where like Bill Hader was like LeBron James, like physical therapist.
He was his doctor. Yeah.
They
But
all bleed together.
It sounds like, I mean, I haven't seen, but her job already kind of a ripoff of Carrie Bradshaw, right?
Oh, I think 1
totally.
million percent that's what that was. Because that's a very, people like writing about writers. And
Yes.
it's such a like pretty thing. You know, like the magazine studio is pretty, and New York apartments look great on screen and when they're fake. And so I think that was definitely
And in my research, I found, like, I didn't do too much research, but I just like Googled the title of and like in the little bit that I did without cheating, it seemed like the movie was based on an article that was not like a fiction book. It was sort of like one of those things where it was like he's just not that into you.
Yeah.
It was like an advice, like they based a fictional movie on like an advice book, like
I think I know what you're talking about. I feel like I remember reading this or seeing this somewhere too, where there is actually like, this is literature.
Yeah.
Mean
Girls is kind of like that too, right? Where they took like a book that was like about actual girl, and then they were like, "Hey, make a movie out of this." Like,
I didn't know
weird
that.
collection.
So
it's
it wasn't like
and wannabes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant they like found a burn book.
No. It's based on like an author's like observations of high school.
Okay,
interesting. And then they sort of turned it into a story.
They let like Tina Fey.
They found some teenager's diary.
Right. Someone found their daughter's diary and made it into a movie.
Yeah. It's like Anne Frank.
Well, I love
exactly like Anne Frank.
It's just like Anne Frank.
It's at least the royalty distribution is. All right. Man, I love Mean Girls.
Yeah, it's
not going to see the
film.
new one. Don't need to be tricked into a musical.
It is funny that happened. That's a trope now, right? Mean Girls and Wonka.
And not just that. We found out the other day, I was talking to Lindsay Adams about a ballad of songbirds and snakes they break out into song, the new Hunger Games prequel.
Wow, I didn't know.
And because I was like, hey, she was coming on, and I was like, hey, what haven't you seen? Or what have you seen recently? And she was like, I love Hunger Games, but the new one broke into song out of nowhere and pissed me off.
Yeah. I wish I had more patience for musicals where that happened. I like seeing musicals live in person when people are singing.
Sure.
It's like, and then I like musicals where the music happens organically within the, like A Star is Born.
Sure.
All of the singing is...
Right, that's a movie about music, and you see the music from the world.
But they break out into song, but they're like working on songs.
And the people in that world see the music happening. Like, it's not like... I do think maybe well, acting is the most embarrassing profession.
Yeah.
And because it's insane to think about anyone ever doing it. But to think about in the transition from not singing to singing in a musical is like the most embarrassing entertainment moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they're like sort of bobbing, going, well, what is that? It's like I always picture like the monorail episode of The Simpsons, where he kind of like they're doing the back and forth of like sort of rhyming talking.
Yeah.
And then it transitions into the song, and you're like, this is insane.
It's like watching someone put a condom on. It's just like nobody needs to see that transitional moment. That's gross. Yeah.
Right. No one's hard anymore.
It should just be on.
You should just have it on all the time in case you get hard.
Yeah.
In your jeans.
In your
at
jeans.
all times. Wake up in the morning, put that on, go about your day.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. If I was living in New York, like the people in Rent, and I started singing, they probably wouldn't be my friends anymore.
Yeah. No, I agree. How did you guys feel about me using the term fat slut even in an ironic meta sense? Did it make you uncomfortable?
I thought it was so funny.
Okay. It made me uncomfortable writing it because I feel like now, even the idea
you can't say that.
You can't say it.
But
no,
you
but you really could at this time. You really could.
You had to.
Especially if you were like talking about a fat slut.
You actually had to say it.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
How are you going to reference someone if that's in their parenthetical of their... That's probably in the parenthetical of the character at the casting call in 2003.
We're all thinking it.
I think that people now are more... I don't know. It feels like we're sort of swinging back to like we understand some characters are assholes.
Yeah.
And say asshole things where it seemed like for about 8 years, if the bad guy said a bad word, people hated a movie.
Yeah.
You're like, well, what do you think? What do you think that guy says?
They're like, the writers wrote that. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So people seem to be, back to understanding context.
Yeah.
I don't think I laughed.
Okay.
It's 2003.
I laughed a lot.
There's a lot of stuff that we understand the way things have aged and everything like that. I mean, if you watch like a movie like Superbad, which I think is, if I think about a movie that like is that year.
Yeah.
That movie sounds exactly like that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, it's weird for there to be, at least it's weird for me, for there to be movies that feel like a time capsule of a time I still associate as now.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
But that movie came out in what, 2008?
7 or something.
Yeah.
That is not now.
No, it's not now.
No.
That's 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's almost a time, because when that movie came out, something from 1989 felt old to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but if you hear, especially like the beginning of that movie, where you're getting into the vernacular and Jonah Hill's like talking about dicks and pussies and stuff.
And he's like drawing.
And drawing the dicks and stuff. It really, that movie and Mean Girls feel like the
they're
aughts
so
to me.
of their time. Yeah, totally.
And I don't know, it feels different hearing it now, but I am able to like think. I don't know what kids talk like now. I'd have to go back and look at my footage. But it just feels like a weird time capsule that we also understand is a thing. Well, it's not really footage if it's on film.
No, yeah.
It's shot in 3,500 yards from the school.
Can I ask you a question? Like, as a woman growing up, or as a girl, like, did you, when you watch these movies, like, did you think about how they were getting into your brain and like how they were, or like, do you think back like, oh, that was a bad message for me to learn, or anything like that? Or
no, I was like. Okay, so when Mean Girls came out, I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and I remember my friend Alex had just seen it, and she was telling me about it, and I distinctly remember we were like in the cafeteria, we had our lunch trays, she was like, they say bitch and whore, like a lot, and I was like, I cannot wait to watch that.
Sure.
I love bitch, I love whore, like I was not allowed to like watch a lot of like TV or anything like that, so I was like, I can't wait to be with my peers and have an experience that my peers are having too. Like I remember thinking that.
And there also wasn't a lot of funny stuff. This was like pre-Bridesmaids. There weren't a lot of movies where girls or women were being just like raucous and funny.
Yeah,
real
right,
people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the way to put it.
Yes.
There was 800 Mean Girlses for 9th grade boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or for like early high school boys.
Yeah, there was really nothing for girls until that, I think. And not that I can think of, at least. Like,
maybe something.
Or were you
Clueless.
watching like these like rom-coms and like being like, oh, like I need to like meet a guy, or like were they putting bad messages out there, or was they just sort of fun and funny? And
I think they were just like kind of fun and funny. Like the ones I remember loving were like My Big Fat Greek Wedding was a favorite. 10 Things I Hate About You was a favorite. When Harry Met Sally, like
When Harry Met Sally is just a great movie.
It's great.
It still holds
yeah.
up.
I haven't seen that one. Is that the I'll have what she's having?
Yes.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it?
She has an orgasm at the
I paid a lot of money at that deli for pastrami
When
sandwich.
Harry Met Sally, though, it's not just a great romantic comedy, but it's an underrated comedy about friendship.
Yes.
Because the Billy Crystal Bruno Kirby relationship is great. And the Carrie Fisher Meg Ryan friendship is great.
Yeah.
And just those scenes even that don't even involve the two of them together are very, very funny and really perceptive about friendship.
That's a great observation.
So
That's very true.
it's just a great movie.
I have
You should see it.
as I've gotten.
And I'm sorry I called Billy Crystal ugly, but you go on.
That's fine. He's not here. He hasn't been here in weeks.
Okay.
I remember always, it feels like for a long time we would retroactively look at movies and be like, this does not hold up. And a lot of movies don't hold up, and a lot of parts of movies don't hold up. And I think now people are more willing to just be like, yeah, but that's fine because I still like so much of it, like Zoolander or whatever. That's fine. I still like this, laugh at this. And I now think different things hold up worse in movies as I get. I am less inclined to believe caricatures. No, that's not a good way of putting it. What holds up less to me in movies as I get older is something like the relationship in 500 Days of Summer. Where I'm like, I think this guy's like almost a criminal, and like the way he holds on to a brief, non-existent thing, or like is like a toxic way, versus like this kid probably would call that kid a piece of shit, or something like that.
I have to say something about something. I recently started rewatching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's so funny, but I can't believe I didn't realize the first time around how mean he is to his wife. What an asshole.
I haven't seen too much of it.
Because I know that he's an asshole. I know that the whole idea of the character is Larry
He's a
David
curmudgeon,
is an asshole. But now seeing it as a married man, I'm like, oh, there's just nothing redeeming about him as a husband, and he's just a complete piece of shit.
I don't know if I've seen enough of it
part of what
linearly.
funny it is, but
I haven't really watched very much of that show, and
it's still very funny. But
it is funny. I decided I wanted to like jump in at one point, and I turned on one episode of it, and Larry David himself just like says the N-word in this episode,
that doesn't
and I was
hold
like,
up as well.
Oh my god,
that doesn't narrow down which
episode
episode it is actually.
Season 8, episode 1.
He's quoting Michael Richards.
No, it's the. It's the Crazy Eyes Killer episode, which is so funny, parts of it, but it does not hold up.
I actually didn't know about that. I don't think I've probably seen maybe 10 episodes of Curb. Like I'm like, I'll watch that one if there's a documentary about it getting a guy off for murder, or something like that. Like those absolutely, and that episode was hilarious. And I think it's like the way. If I think about that, because he picks up a prostitute to go into the carpool lane, and then she makes him go to a Dodgers game. It's so funny.
Great. Yeah,
it's so funny, but an idea where like sometimes if it's pitched in a way, people be like, well, how are you going to treat this person and what's going to go in this way?
Yeah.
But it was hilarious, and then that guy didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Every show should do that for someone.
Yeah, every
show should circumvent the criminal justice system in a way that benefits innocent people.
Yeah. I think to both of your points too, just going back to like seeing things that you liked at the time that didn't age well. Like both of those examples, I think Curb and 500 Days of Summer, like I still think they're like highly regarded like as funny or like a good movie. Like for 500 Days of Summer, I still think of that as like one of my favorite movies, but I see the villain as a different person now, like looking back.
Sure.
Like, because I think when you first watch it, it's like, Summer, she's just this careless piece of shit, Zooey Deschanel's character. And then you watch it, you're like, she's kind of fine. She's kind of just doing whatever she wants and like
one of the few people who has to unquirky her name for a character.
But that also is not just about the movie, but about you and how you grow up and age over time. And you're like, oh, and it's not necessarily that, the movie, it's how you see the movie changes as your relationship.
Right. And I think people listen to this at different ages with different experiences will feel different about all of those
Probably.
as well. Like, this is age, or actually if someone does say this, it's a deal breaker for me in this or something like that. And that's all totally fine and valid as well. Unless you disagree with me particularly.
Then you're wrong. Yeah. By the way, speaking of things, sorry, I don't mean to like keep jumping in with different things, but like
I love jumping in.
I remember seeing like a while back that the guy who one of the guys who did Airplane was like, you could never make Airplane today.
Yeah, they would fly it into a building.
Jesus,
sorry.
And but I was like, he's like, it's too woke. You could never do most. And I'm like, why are you shitting on your own movie? I was like,
is really funny.
I was like, I've seen it recently. It mostly holds up. It's still really funny. There's like maybe 2 or 3 jokes you'd have to cut.
I don't think that
And
there's.
like, and it's just like, why are you basically don't watch Airplane?
Yeah.
You can't.
So if we made this today, no one would watch it because it sucked.
Yeah.
So I don't want any residuals.
Yeah.
So in fact, take your DVDs and throw them away. I never buy into that stuff. You couldn't make this today. You couldn't do this. If there's something you couldn't, listen, you probably couldn't make Breakfast at Tiffany's the same today.
Oh,
and you know what?
shouldn't.
That's fine.
Yeah. But what are the most quotable?
Why?
She's dead.
No, there's also Mickey.
No, yeah,
playing
that's on
it.
tape. Yeah.
There's
the teeth. His teeth.
There's, I mean, like if you think about what are the most quotable lines in you could never say, "I am serious and don't call me Shirley."
Mm-hmm.
No, you could. That's still,
you could do
it's
that.
like I
Less
picked the wrong
hilarious.
week to
Still
stop
funny.
sniffing glue. Yeah, there's a lot of.
No matter how we evolve our views of gender roles,
Yes.
Shirley is still
Shirley is
spelled
just a funny name.
Surely.
There you go. It's just a funny name. Yeah.
If you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. Okay, man, but you did.
Yeah.
And we liked it then, and now make something better.
Yeah.
Like it's so.
Also, you probably could have made it the exact same. You might just have to had to have edited.
You just got to have
like
Jordan Peterson in some of it. I am very over the you can't say anything.
Yeah.
I actually think now, once again, there was this time where it did feel a little more sensitive, but I still didn't think you couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I think people are even more in tune with context and intent.
Yeah.
And willing to listen to anyone. I think everyone's heard everyone who looks like anything say everything, and we're all tired of it.
Yeah.
And I stand-ups or movies or TV, you can't do this, you can't say this. Maybe you probably shouldn't have before, and then just do a better thing then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get better at the thing?
Yeah, it's just like these guys being like, I'm not gonna grow. I don't want to.
You can. People have made very offensive, whether it's the literal words or the idea, under what the umbrella of offended people who think everyone gets offended easily would call offensive. These have existed and keep existing and keep winning awards, and people keep loving them. Veep won 7,000 Emmys and said absolutely the worst stuff that's ever been said in a television show, and we understood it as the context of bad people saying it, and we all laughed at it, and it was funny. And that was,
and it holds up
4 years ago.
It's so good. Veep is so good.
I really feel bad, but it was 12 years ago.
Was it really that long?
No. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. But you're right. It could be anywhere between 4 and 14.
I have no idea because it also took all that. I know it's a little bit later than when Trump became president because they took time off and reevaluated what to do after that. So I think like 2018 is probably when it ended.
Yeah, I think you're
right.
But
just do a better job.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't just go be a hacky stand-up doing stuff that would have been hacky in 1982.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just find it to be lays above all else.
Yeah.
And I think I've heard probably a pretty funny joke about absolutely everything within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I really think the Airplane guy is just making an excuse for why he hasn't made a movie in 20 years. He's like, well, I can't do Airplane again, so I guess I just won't do anything.
I can't say all the stuff I want to say.
Yeah.
It's like, buddy, I bet you could.
Yeah.
People might just
do it, coward.
spend money
No,
differently.
you can't do the I speak jive joke again.
You can't say anything anymore.
Yeah.
I can't say the same stuff in the same order I said on TV.
No.
Oh, that's fun. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get back and play a couple games. We'll be right back.
Wow.
No. All right. All right, we're back. We have a couple games we're going to play today. This first game we're going to play is called Before and Afters.
Before and Afters.
How this works is 2 movies have been smushed together into one movie. I will read you the smushed together plot. The 2 of you have to guess the smushed together title. So, for instance, Love Zodiac Actually, which derailed us all into the... Maybe True Crime is the new rom-com.
Yeah, maybe. It's passionate.
What?
It's passionate.
I thought you said smashing it. I'm
Yeah,
like, hey, they both do
smashing
that in
they
both of them.
do smashing.
All right, so you're more than welcome to work together or compete against one another.
I feel like if you're good at movies, I'm good at little puzzles, word puzzles. So
Great.
The two of us together can maybe figure this out.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to some of these titles were written by fans of the podcast on the Discord. Masubi, Bubs, Scott's Alive. You all have some in here today. Thank you for the titles, and I put some plots to your titles, and here we go. Number 1. Set on an island off the coast of Ireland, two lifelong friends abruptly end their friendship as one of them is a worker bug who must save the colony from the evil General Mandible.
The first movie is The Banshees of Inisherin.
And then, is it Bug's Life or Ants?
The Ant Cheese of Inisherin?
The Anchies of Inisherin.
I told you.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I didn't
Honestly,
I predict it? I said if she knows movies, I can do
You did.
puzzle
I mean,
word
it's like
games.
it's actually
That's
the
teamwork.
perfect. It is 2-2. Score is 2-2. I don't really know what the point. 2-2.
No, made up
Next
point
one.
system, yeah.
A group of 3 women who are elite private investigators armed with high-tech tools decide to get out of the spy world and into baseball, where they work to help the Anaheim baseball team win the
I
pennant.
know this. It's Charlie's Angels in the outfield. Yeah.
Incredible.
This is so relieving.
I don't
that
even actually think I've seen Angels in the outfield, but it's one of those
the word
movies.
you word played your
Yeah,
way
you
into
don't
it
forget.
too.
Yeah.
Shout out Bernie Mac for Charlie's Angels. Was that Kate Hudson as well? No,
I've
that
never
was
seen it.
Cameron
I don't know.
Diaz, Lucy Liu, someone else.
Drew
Drew
Barrymore?
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah,
I like Drew Barrymore.
I do.
I keep seeing clips of her just talking.
Yeah, she loves to talk.
I mean, just like in interviews and panels and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
I feel like she has a podcast.
we
maybe.
just on an episode I just recorded earlier talked about Kirsten Dunst a lot, and because we were talking about Fargo and the season 2 of Fargo that she's in with her husband and Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
And how Jesse Plemons said he was intimidated to talk to her because she was so professional and good at acting, and he was like just kind of a schlub, which is just like the cutest thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard. But and then I started thinking like, if you're a child actor and you made it, I bet you're so professional.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Drew Barrymore and Kirsten Dunst are like, this is how I operate. This is what
Yeah.
the industry is. We are like actually very well-adjusted people because I can't believe I like survived through this thing not set up for me to thrive through.
Right.
Number 3. Was that 2?
Those
Yeah.
two.
A young girl who is obsessed over by a middle-aged man with 2 of the same name adopts a small, ugly dog who ends up being the galaxy's most wanted extraterrestrial.
I don't
What is
know
the first
either
one?
of these movies. What was the second one?
I think the second one is E.T. Is it
A
E.T.?
small dog. Wait, say the whole thing.
A young
again.
girl who is obsessed over by a middle-aged man with 2 of the same name adopts a small, ugly dog who ends up being the galaxy's most wanted extraterrestrial.
Wait.
I will tell you, I wouldn't say extraterrestrial. If it was E.T., it would feel like too...
Okay.
A middle-aged man with 2 of the same name.
Yeah.
Bruce? I
She's
don't know.
obsessed over by a stand-up comedian
Who has 2
from
of the
the
same
90s.
name? I don't know.
A young girl who is obsessed over by a middle-aged man.
I was gonna
with 2 of the
guess
same
that it was
name.
like Loliti, but I don't think I clearly.
Oh, Lolita. Okay, so Humbert has 2 of the same name. Okay, Lolita.
Lolita. Okay. Wait. It's not Lolita. It's
A
not.
small dog?
Yeah.
Dog
Okay, so it's not a
who
dog.
ends up being the galaxy's most wanted extraterrestrial. Real.
Lilo and Stitch?
Lilo, Lita, and
Yeah.
Stitch.
Okay, yeah, there we go. All right,
Nice.
wow.
Nice.
That one was
I don't know where I pulled that
not
one out
super
of,
fun to
but yeah.
combine.
No,
since
yeah.
both of them have a
Lilo.
protagonist that's the same age.
Yeah.
Okay, we did that. Here we go. 2 more. A young woman hides her organized soccer playing from her parents and must deal with falling for her coach, an ogre who lives in an isolated swamp.
Bend it like Shrekum.
Wow. That was smooth. And that one, by the way, really good job on the title. That was
Yeah,
great.
that one was
Yeah,
great.
that's
Bend It Like Shrek.
fantastic.
Bend It Like Shreckum is really
If you thought that title worked well, you're going to hate this one.
way better than
After
Low.
moving to a new town, an 11-year-old contemplates life, friendship, and more, connecting with her mother and grandmother, and transported through a mysterious pipe to a new world where they must save the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay. What? Wait. An 11-year-old moves to a new town?
An 11-year-old moves to a new town and contemplates life, friendship, and more, connecting with her mother and grandmother. And they are transported through a mysterious pipe to a new world.
Is it Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? No.
I don't think so.
Super Mario Brothers is the second one.
Right.
And the first one is...
This, I mean, if this game... If they could be disqualified for being forced together...
I just don't know what the first movie is.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Is it like either Gabby Hoffman is in it or some child actress? Who's the girl I'm thinking of? Oh my God.
Probably playing the 11-year-old. All right, this one we're looking for. Are You There, God? It's a Me. Super Margaretio.
Boo! It wasn't the movie I'm
you.
thinking of, and I hate it. That's a double.
I will tell whoever wrote that title, I punched it up to It's a Me. From
It's a
instead of
Me.
It's Me. Are You There, God? It's a Me. Super Margaretio.
Yeah.
Dude, no.
What is the movie that I'm thinking of? Is Demi Moore in it? Or...
I don't know.
I wish I could think of it. I don't know.
I looked up Demi Moore movie. Are you thinking of Blind?
No, I don't know.
Are you thinking of The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Was she Notre in that one?
What's a movie? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if she's in it, so don't tell me.
All right, couple more games we're gonna play here real quick. This game.
It's rapid.
Nope. 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 Here we go.
Build a perfect movie.
This game is called Build the Perfect Movie. How it works is two movies have been smushed together in... Or no, I just started describing a different movie. Game. Am I having
yeah.
a stroke?
Maybe. Do you smell burnt toast?
Could just be toast.
True.
Yeah, Burnt's that movie with...
Build a perfect movie.
forgot even who was in that. The guy who's...
Bradley Cooper.
Or Bradley Cooper, who's just
Oh.
in Maestro.
Maestro.
This is Build the Perfect Movie. How this works is I'll give you a category. It's going to be rom-coms. You have to pick two movies from that category whose Rotten Tomatoes score add up to as close to 100 as possible without going over.
Great.
So Price is Right rules apply. You're now competing against one another. So you'll each pick your first rom-com. I'll tell you the scores of those, and then you can pick your second one based on how your first one plays out. Currently, the score is 7-7. So, Matt, you'll pick first. You pick a
Okay.
rom-com.
I have to pick a rom-com.
And you're gonna have to pick two whose score
adds
up
to
to
100.
without going over. A frequent strategy here on the podcast people use is to triangle polarizing. It's hard to go 50-50, but 90-10 or something.
I have to pick a rom-com that either was really heinous or really successful.
But the tough part about rom-coms is, I will say this, how they were reviewed has changed so much over time.
Right.
Like something like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days could honestly be anywhere from a 20 to a 90. You have no
Yeah.
idea. But earlier ones tend to be fewer reviews. And then newer ones tend to be so many that they all land around 63.
Okay. Sticking with Matthew McConaughey, I'm going to say that a poorly reviewed rom-com was The Wedding Planner.
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
remember that one.
Because I have seen clips of it, and I don't care for it. No shade to Jennifer Lopez, who actually is quite a good actress.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that's a low score.
All right.
I would like to submit My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
Oh, wow. Okay. You seem like an expert in those movies. Okay.
Okay, here we go. The
Watched
Wedding
them.
Planner is a 17%.
Okay,
So
I
you're
was
looking
right.
for an
Nice.
83.
All right.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding
2.
2. It just says My Bigger, Fatter, Greeker Wedding.
That's probably it, yeah.
It doesn't say that.
Oh.
27%. So Some would
Okay.
say almost twice as good as The Wedding Planner.
Wait, what was mine?
17.
17.
So you're looking for an 83.
So I need an 83.
And
Can I not go over? Is
you
that the
cannot
idea?
go over. We got Prices Right rules.
So I don't
Bailey, you're
want to
looking
pick
for a
one that's
73.
too good, but I need to pick one that was charming, that people liked.
But wasn't transcendent.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm gonna say like I bet Notting Hill was too good. I'm gonna say Runaway Bride. No, I wonder if that was poorly reviewed. People just like her too much.
Wait, who's in that? I don't
Julia
know.
Julia
Roberts.
Roberts, and
Oh,
is
okay.
it Richard Gere again?
Yeah. They actually said when they were casting that they're gonna put this movie into another gear.
I don't want to go over, so I'm gonna say Runaway Bride.
Okay. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
I would like to say
Furious.
Made in Manhattan.
Wow, you think that was?
I think it's around a 70 something. That's another J
I
Lo.
think you're gonna go under. I think I'm
rom-com.
gonna go under too. Let's find out.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 is a 27%. Made in Manhattan, 38%. So that's 65.
Wow.
65.
Wow.
The Wedding Planner, 17%. Runaway Bride, 46%. 63 as a
Oh
total.
my God.
63 is a total.
You know.
You want to know where Notting Hill landed you?
Yeah. What was it?
You would have been at 101%.
Yeah.
It was one over. It was at 84%.
Well, I would have
Good
lost either way.
instincts.
Well played.
Good competitive round.
Yeah.
Good competitive round.
Yeah.
Good, solid, competitive round.
Really well.
The last game we're going to play here today is called Guess What Movie Kyle's Dad is Describing, having only watched a trailer and never having heard of the movie. So I'm going to play, my dad watches a movie trailer. My dad, who's not been in a movie theater since the mid-90s, watches a movie trailer, describes what's happening in that trailer. You have to tell me what movie it's a trailer for. These are not rom-coms.
Okay.
But it's not a rom-com in this one, but it's like a relationship-y movie.
Okay.
Okay? If that can help you out. Here you go. What movie is this trailer for?
Okay. The airplane is landing. Why does it matter that this is the fourth film of something? She's got her bike helmet and she's sitting at a bar. Oh wow, things have gotten intense. Fighting and fighting. She's fighting everybody. These can't all happen at the same time. Some bright shots, some black and white, sorta. Somewhere everyone is shadows. Someone threw an axe. More shadow shots. Everything is blue. She was hoping it would be that easy.
I have no idea.
When he said the fourth movie of something, my first thought was was John Wick, but that was not the description. It was a woman as an action star in her fourth movie, and I don't have it.
I don't know. I don't have it either.
We can't leave until someone gets it. I don't know what it is either. No,
Really?
No, I do.
I have no idea. I should know.
We're looking for notoriously romantic Kill Bill.
Oh,
There's another Kill Bill coming out.
Kill Bill. No, I think that was Quentin Tarantino's
fourth movie.
You know how he does
Oh.
his trailers
He
where
loves
he
to
does them like very
say-
old.
So he's
like
watching an old trailer for. Okay, I didn't.
I think in Tarantino always makes his trailers look like it's.
No, but
the
I'm saying
70s.
he's watching a trailer for a movie that came out 25 years
Oh,
ago.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't.
Wow.
I
We have
didn't
one
quite
more
pick that up.
romantic one if you want to give
All
it
right,
a go.
let's do
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Now that I know it could be from any time period.
Okay. He wants to go and she doesn't mind. His friends are saying he should get out. What's happening to her? She is going with them. Cool trees standing on a circle. Everyone saying welcome. Fancy circle. The sun is still out. Some other girl kicked him. He doesn't know exactly how long they've been together. Everyone is dressed the same and they're spinning. She's going from happy to crying to happy again. A lot of white shirts.
Okay, I think I might know what it is.
You want to give it a
lot
guess?
of quick cuts of
No,
sunny
yeah,
days, but scary stuff. Dinner at a very long table.
Okay, is
You
it?
don't
Old
know.
man
Yeah.
claps in
Is it
his face.
Midsommar?
It is Midsommar.
Yeah.
The only movie more romantic than Kill Bill.
Haven't seen it, unfortunately.
Well, great job, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did it. We really did it. Matt, thanks for being here. Thanks for not having ever seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let everyone know where to find you and all sorts
Yeah.
of plugs to make. And
Check out my special on YouTube. It's called No Questions Asked. It's out
Out
this
today,
week. Out
right?
today, I believe. Yes.
The 13th.
Yes. So go to my YouTube page, Matt Goldich, MattGoldich. Subscribe to that and check out the special. Shot it last year in New York City. Very exciting. It's out, my first special. There'll be an album version also soon that you can listen to on all the streaming services and everything. And I'm on all the social media, Instagram, Twitter. I'm an old man on TikTok. Matt Goldich, MattGoldich on everything. And sure I'll have some live dates coming up. You can check those out. Check out my link tree. No, I don't know. Yeah.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This
Of
was so much
course.
fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Everyone have a wonderful day. Bailey, is there anything you want to tell me?
Oh yeah, I have a merch collab with Reductress that is just now out, and there are some sweatshirts you can get that say "Oh buddy, big feelings," and it would be great if you wanted to buy one. I would love that. Okay, that's it.
Great. Thank you guys very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Once again, if you want to submit before and afters or play before and afters against a robot, we have a AI bot
Wow,
that'll play
really?
the whole history of the shows before and afters with you. The Discord link is at fart.kyleayers.com. Can you believe that was still available? And you can go there. And Discord's basically just a big message board, but it seems intimidating because of people on the internet. But it's not. All right.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Ants.
There you go.
Hey, all right, we did it.